Hey guys, it's Godbars here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 281st episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it has, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. So, as I alluded to at the end of my previous video, today I'm talking about an artist who's shown a huge growth over the last decade, both in popularity and in the quality of his output, that being the legendary Detroit-based MC Boldy James, who first popped up on many underground hip-hop fans' radars when he teamed up with veteran producer The Alchemist for their 2020 LP here, The Price of Tea in China. However, while it wasn't long after this that he became a member of the Griselda Collective, basically inheriting their sizable fan base as well, this was nowhere near his first project. In fact, it wasn't even his first time having a collaborative album with Uncle Al, because all of the instrumentals on Boldy's debut studio full-length were also handled by The Alchemist, and it was the first release that introduced me to this extremely talented MC, his 2013 album My First Chemistry set. This dude was displaying his unique, attention-grabbing voice and slower, more controlled flow right from day one, but for whatever reason he ended up taking a pretty long hiatus after his debut, with a good 7-year gap between his first and second album here, and only a couple of EPs to hold us over, like the Boldface tape that kind of was a precursor to The Price of Tea in China. And since this 2020 team-up with Alchemist, Boldy James has been on an unprecedented, prolific run of releases, including 2 more amazing LPs that came out this same year, those being Manger on McNichols with Sterling Tolls, and Real Bad Boldy with Real Bad Man, as well as even more collaborations with Al, like Bo Jackson or Super Tecmo Bo, which both dropped in 2021. And that's not even mentioning the 4 projects Boldy had in 2023 and the 3 so far that he's had this year in 2024. The work he's put out with other talented underground producers like Nicholas Craven or Conductor Williams is absolutely top of the line as well, but there's something about his sophomore full-length here that keeps it at the top of the heap, for me at least, when it comes to Boldy James and his insanely consistent, growing discography. I feel like this thing is one of the true staples of the mid to late 2010s underground scene that was taking over New York and really the rap game in general at the time, with a wave of artists who had a lyrical and grimy, yet more subdued, take on the dope dealing style of rap that veterans like Royal Flush or Pusha T specialized in. Some of the other artists in a similar wheelhouse outside of Westside Gunn, Conway the Machine, and Benny the Butcher are guys like Ransom, Huss Kingpin, Stove God Cooks, or Rock Marciano, but I feel like Boldy James might be the single most promising artist currently out of that entire group, because he's virtually the whole package as an MC, from his deep register and controlled flow to the extremely witty pen. One of the many moments on here that displays this lyrical skill comes on the 3rd song in the track list, Surf and Turf, which features another important fixture of modern hip-hop who I plan on getting on the channel pretty soon, that being Vince Staples. I want to share the opening verse that Boldy spits on this track because he has a stellar flow that he uses to keep the same rhyme scheme going for impressively long, kicking it off with slums of Detroit, drugs from the port, plugged with the source, gun in my shorts, blood was the sport, jumped from the porch, hung like a horse, ones with the force, drunk in a Porsche, trunk full of corpse, dump with the torch, run for the ford, love for my daughter, son was the 4th, youngin' on the run with a warrant, motherfuck the judge in the courts, club full of dorks, got it out the mud in my ports, had to let the love run its course, cousin up north, plugged in New York, plugged on the coast, doves in them storks, tub full of dope, road trips to Yipsy, what's good with the coke, real people like Nipsey give a hood dude hope, dub with the smoke, got about a dub in my coat, ain't even on the flyer but I think I'm in love with the host, Love on the toast. This for all my cousins and folks, bloods and my lokes. They know I'm a thug till I croak, that's how we comin'. The one other song I want to share some bars from is actually the opening track, On the Price of Tea in China, which not only sees Boldy give us one of his more personal and introspective verses on the LP, it also honestly may have my favorite instrumental on the whole project, with Alchemist once again delivering a masterclass in making these minimal beats that utilize little to no drums but still add tons of character. And this time around, he cooks up a pretty somber atmosphere that was kind of a risky way to start off an album, but ultimately I think it completely pays off and couldn't be a better fit for Boldy's restrained yet passionate raps, which he begins with, I used to get confused, choosing my battles wisely, I had to pick and choose. My friends came and went, but most of them was murder victims, dead before 20 or caught a frame and had to serve a sentence. Free my homie Raymond, realest dude from the murder mitten. Stood tall, hit somebody for 1036s. All he wanted to do was ball, spread the rock around, built my foundation on solid ground. Always in and out of town, waking up out of my sleep to them chopper rounds, sticking a Coleco vision. Me and Nico up the Clico, we got 3 hoes kissing, brothers eating, getting fat, laced in machino dripping. Wishful thinking with them bag, we get those kilos missing. Grew up in a hellhole, that's why I think so twisted. When you're wifey a rich bitch, it makes you treat hoes different. As I've highlighted numerous times throughout the video, all of the production here was handled by The Alchemist, but we do have a small group of features outside of Vince Staples to shout out, including Evidence, Benny the Butcher, and Freddie Gibbs, but since this is actually the deluxe version of the album, we get a couple of additional features in the form of El Camino, Shorty K, as well as both Chuck English and Sir Michael Rocks of the Cool Kids. This LP is about as consistent as you can get, but for my top 3 favorite tracks overall, I would have to narrow it down to Caruth, Pinto, and SNORT. Then with my honorable mentions, I want to recommend songs like Giant Slide, Scrape the Bowl, Speed Demon Freestyle, Pots and Pans, Don Flamingo, Grey October, Bernadines, and Run-Ins. Thank you for watching my 281st video. Next time we have a slightly more contemporary 2010s rap album that was insanely popular my first couple of years of high school, so look out for that one. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite tracks are off this talented MC's second collaboration with Uncle Al. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Mafia.